Hello, fictional. Welcome to the What If Essay. Today we are gonna see what if Issei had a mentor. Part 1. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. It was a typical day at Hyoudou Academy for Issei Hyoudou. The sun was shining brightly, students bustled through the school grounds, and Issei was doing his best to blend in. Well, as much as he could given his new devilish nature. The days since Ria's grimoire had saved him from death and turned him into a devil had been a rollercoaster of emotions and adaptation. Issei had been thrilled to be alive again, but the reality of being a devil had been a bit overwhelming. And, of course, there was his ultimate goal. To become a harem king. That dream was alive and well, even in his new supernatural existence. As he trudged through the bustling corridors of Hyoudou Academy, he couldn't help but feel a pang of loneliness. His closest friends had all moved on, either ascending to higher ranks in the devil world or, like Asia, exploring their new lives as devils. Issei, however, was still grappling with the basics. With a heavy sigh, he pushed open the doors to the school's courtyard and took a seat on a bench. He leaned back, gazing at the sky, lost in thought. His life as a devil felt like an intricate puzzle, and he was missing a lot of the pieces. Just then, a voice interrupted his contemplation. "Issei, my boy, you look like you could use some guidance." Issei jumped, startled by the unexpected intrusion. He turned his head to see a tall, charismatic man standing before him. The man had crimson hair, sharp, intelligent eyes, and an aura of confidence that couldn't be ignored. "Who are you?" Issei stammered, a bit cautious but also intrigued. The man chuckled, "I suppose introductions are in order. I am Sirzechs Lucifer, the current Lucifer of the underworld." Issei's jaw nearly hit the floor. "You're the Lucifer? Like, the devil Lucifer?" Sirzechs laughed heartily. "The one and only. But you don't have to be so formal, Issei. You can call me Sirzechs." Issei was still in shock, but he managed to nod. "Okay, Sirzechs. But why are you here? What do you want with me?" Sirzechs took a seat beside Issei, his crimson hair glowing in the sunlight. "I've been following your progress since Ria's brought you into the world of devils. You're a special case, Issei, and I think you could use a mentor." Issei blinked in disbelief. A mentor? He had never considered the idea. "Why me? I'm just a regular guy trying to live as a devil and chase my dream of becoming a harem king." Sirzechs leaned back, a playful glint in his eyes. "Ah, but that's what makes you unique, my boy. You have a dream, and you're determined to achieve it. That kind of passion is rare in our world. I see potential in you, and I want to help you unlock it." Issei scratched his head, still processing the situation. "So, you want to be my mentor? What's in it for you?" Sirzechs smirked. "Well, besides the satisfaction of helping a promising young devil, I do enjoy a bit of excitement and humor in my life. And you, Issei, seem to attract both like a magnet. Besides, I think we could have a lot of fun together." Issei couldn't help but smile. The idea of having a mentor as influential and charismatic as Sirzechs was enticing, and the prospect of someone guiding him through the intricacies of the devil world was a comforting thought. "Alright, Sirzechs," Issei said, determination in his eyes. "I'm in. Teach me to be the best devil I can be, and let's have some fun along the way." Sirzechs clapped him on the back, a mischievous glint in his eye. "That's the spirit, Issei. Get ready for a wild ride. We'll turn you into a harem king that no one will ever forget." And so, the unexpected partnership between Issei Hyoudou and Sirzechs Lucifer began, setting the stage for a series of adventures filled with humor, romance, and supernatural growth that would forever change Issei's life. Little did he know just how much his world was about to transform, all thanks to his unexpected mentor. The sun had dipped below the horizon, casting the park into the embrace of twilight. Issei sat on a park bench, his thoughts meandering through the whirlwind of events that had led him to this moment. Becoming a devil, having dreams of becoming a harem king, and now, with Sirzechs Lucifer, the current Lucifer of the underworld, as his potential mentor, it was a lot for one high school boy to digest. As Issei pondered the possibilities of this new partnership, he couldn't help but wonder if he was dreaming. Maybe this was some kind of elaborate prank, or perhaps he'd finally lost his mind. He pinched himself just to be sure it hurt, and the pinch felt very real. His gaze was fixed on the twinkling stars above when a voice broke the silence of the night. "Issei, my boy," contemplating the mysteries of the universe. Issei turned toward the voice and gasped in shock. There, standing before him in all his imposing glory, was Sirzechs Lucifer himself. His crimson hair shimmered like molten gold in the dim light, and his eyes sparkled with a mixture of amusement and wisdom. "Sirzechs? You really are here," Issei stuttered, his heart pounding in his chest. It wasn't a dream, and he certainly hadn't lost his mind. This was the real deal. Sirzechs took a seat beside Issei, a casual smile on his face. "Of course, my boy. I wouldn't offer my guidance and then vanish into thin air. I take my mentoring duties seriously. Issei still couldn't quite believe what was happening, but he couldn't deny the thrill of the moment. So, you're really going to mentor me? What's the catch? Sirzechs chuckled, his laughter like a soothing melody in the still night. No catch, Issei. I believe in your potential, and I think we can learn a lot from each other. You have a dream, a goal, and I want to help you achieve it. Issei scratched his head, overwhelmed by the unexpected turn of events. I don't know what to say. Why me, though? There are so many other devils out there with more experience. Sirzechs leaned back, his gaze locked on the stars above. You're unique, Issei. You have a burning passion, a drive that I rarely see in this world. Your dream is something you're willing to fight for, and that's a quality I admire. Issei nodded, his determination reignited by Sirzechs' words. Alright, I'm in. I'll learn everything you're willing to teach me. I want to be the best devil I can be. Sirzechs grinned, his eyes filled with pride. That's what I like to hear, Issei. We'll make a formidable team, and together, we'll take your aspirations to new heights. As Issei and Sirzechs sealed their partnership with a handshake, a warm camaraderie formed between them. Issei realized that he had just taken a monumental step in his journey as a devil, and it was one he wouldn't take lightly. In the days that followed, Sirzechs became a regular presence in Issei's life. He introduced Issei to the intricacies of the devil world, teaching him about the different devil clans, the politics, and the power dynamics. Issei's head was spinning with all the new information, but Sirzechs was a patient mentor, always ready to clarify and explain. Their training sessions were both challenging and exhilarating. Under Sirzechs' guidance, Issei learned to harness the full potential of his sacred gear, boosted gear. His strength and control over his abilities grew exponentially, and he was even able to incorporate elements of humor into his combat style, surprising his opponents with unexpected tactics. But it wasn't all serious business. Sirzechs was known for his playful nature, and he made sure that their training was filled with humor and lighthearted moments. There were times when they'd burst into fits of laughter in the middle of a sparring session, or they'd play harmless pranks on their fellow Gremory household members, much to their amusement. Issei's harem, consisting of Rias, Akeno, Asia, and Zenobia, had mixed feelings about Sirzechs' involvement in their lives. They were initially cautious, unsure of the influence he would have on their beloved Red Dragon Emperor. But as they got to know him, they couldn't help but be charmed by Sirzechs' charisma and humor. As days turned into weeks, Issei's connection with Sirzechs deepened. They weren't just mentor and student, they had become true friends, partners in both the serious and comical aspects of life as devils. Sirzechs was a source of inspiration, guidance, and endless laughter for Issei, and the young devil couldn't have asked for a better mentor. The adventures of Issei Hyoudou and Sirzechs Lucifer were just beginning, and as they faced new challenges, humorous mishaps, and the complexities of the devil world, their bond only grew stronger. Issei had embarked on a journey he had never imagined, and he was ready to make the most of it, with his mentor by his side. Under Sirzechs' tutelage, Issei's life took a remarkable turn. He delved deep into the world of devils, mastering the intricacies of his newfound powers. But it was more than just learning to wield the mighty boosted gear, it was about understanding the responsibilities and the role of a devil in this supernatural world. Their training sessions became a regular part of Issei's life. The Gremory household, now including Sirzechs as an honorary member, served as the training grounds for the young devil. Issei found himself on the receiving end of Sirzechs' guidance, and the lessons were intense and transformative. One sunny afternoon, Issei stood in the Gremory's lush garden, his eyes locked on the golden gauntlet, the boosted gear, wrapped around his arm. His heart raced with excitement as he awaited Sirzechs' instruction. Sirzechs stood a few feet away, an amused smile playing on his lips. Alright, Issei, let's start with something simple. Focus your energy on the boosted gear and try to summon its power. Issei took a deep breath, concentrating all his thoughts on the gauntlet. He could feel the dormant power within it, like a coiled dragon waiting to strike. His hand clenched into a fist, and suddenly, a brilliant crimson glow enveloped the gauntlet. Good, Issei, Sirzechs praised. Now, let's take it a step further. Channel that power into an attack. Issei nodded, and with a surge of determination, he extended his arm toward a nearby tree. He unleashed a burst of energy, and a fiery red dragon roared to life, tearing through the bark and reducing the tree to ashes. A grin spread across Issei's face. That was amazing. I'm getting the hang of this. Sirzechs' laughter rang through the garden. You certainly are, my boy. But remember, this is only the beginning. The boosted gear holds incredible potential, and you'll need to train rigorously to unlock its full power. Issei's training continued for weeks. He and Sirzechs would engage in sparring sessions, each one filled with humor and camaraderie. Issei found himself not only growing stronger but also growing wiser. He learned to strategize, to outmaneuver his opponents, and to use the element of surprise to his advantage. During one training session, they encountered a group of rogue fallen angels who had ventured into their territory. Issei's heart raced, but Sirzechs remained cool and collected. Issei, it's time to put your training to the test. Remember everything you've learned, and we'll make quick work of them. Issei nodded, and with a determined glint in his eye, he charged forward. The battle that ensued was intense, with Issei using his newfound combat skills and the element of surprise to their advantage. The skirmish ended with the defeated fallen angels retreating, and Issei couldn't have been prouder of his progress. But training was not limited to combat. Sirzechs made sure Issei understood the complexities of devil society and the importance of maintaining their delicate balance. Issei discovered that being a devil involved more than just chasing girls and fighting battles. There were political intrigues, alliances, and negotiations to navigate. One day, Sirzechs sat down with Issei in the Grimoire library, a place that had become a second home to the young devil. They discussed the finer points of devil culture, the different devil clans, and the significance of the raiding games. Issei, the raiding games are a crucial part of our world, Sirzechs explained. They are a means to settle disputes and determine the strength and status of each devil family. You'll need to participate in these games and prove your worth. Issei nodded, absorbing every piece of information. He understood that to achieve his dream of becoming a harem king, he needed to climb the ranks and earn recognition in the devil world. As the weeks turned into months, Issei's transformation was evident to everyone around him. His comrades, Riaz, Akeno, Asia and Zenobia, were amazed by his progress and his newfound maturity. The bond he shared with his harem only grew stronger as they admired the dedication he put into his training and the responsibilities he had taken on as a devil. But amidst all the seriousness, there was always room for humor. Sirzechs ensured that their training sessions were filled with moments of levity. They'd share jokes, play pranks on the other Grimoire household members, and engage in comical banter. Laughter was an integral part of their journey, and it helped Issei stay grounded and focused. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Issei was no longer the same inexperienced and clumsy devil he had been when he first embarked on this journey. He had grown, not just in strength but in character. The fiery dragon within him was beginning to awaken, and he was eager to see how far he could push his limits. Under Sirzechs' tutelage, Issei had found a mentor who believed in his potential, a friend who shared his dreams, and a world of possibilities that went beyond his wildest fantasies. The future was bright for the Red Dragon Emperor, and he couldn't wait to face the challenges and adventures that awaited him. Issei's training under Sirzechs was rigorous and demanding, but it was far from a solemn affair. The Devil King had a unique talent for infusing their sessions with humor, laughter, and light-hearted moments that made the journey all the more enjoyable. One sunny morning, Issei found himself in the Grimoire household's training room, ready for another day of intense sparring. Sirzechs, dressed in his crimson robes, stood across from him with an amused glint in his eyes. "Today, Issei, let's focus on your balance and agility," Sirzechs said, grinning mischievously. "We're going to try something a bit different." Issei raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Different how?" Sirzechs' answer was to summon a group of small, floating targets in various shapes and sizes. "We'll have a little contest. I'm going to launch these targets at you, and you'll have to dodge them or deflect them with your boosted gear." Issei blinked. "So, it's like dodgeball, but with magical targets." Sirzechs chuckled. "You could say that. But there's a twist. Each time a target hits you, you have to tell a joke. The goal is to avoid making yourself the laughingstock of the Grimoire household." Issei couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of the challenge. "Alright, this should be fun. Let's do it." And so, their training session turned into a comical contest of dodging floating targets while exchanging jokes. Issei's laughter and agility were put to the test, and he found himself immersed in a game of humor and skill. As he ducked and weaved through the floating targets, Sirzechs maintained a steady barrage of light-hearted banter. "Issei, what did one devil say to the other at the comedy club?" Issei deftly deflected a target with his boosted gear and grinned. "I don't know, what did they say?" Sirzechs smirked. "Let's raise hell together." Laughter echoed through the training room as Issei tried to keep up with the targets and the jokes. It was a perfect blend of physical and mental exercise, all while sharing humor and building camaraderie. Their humorous antics extended beyond the training room. Sirzechs was known for his playful nature and would often surprise Issei with elaborate pranks. One day, Issei opened the door to his room, only to be greeted by a cascade of harmless colorful confetti. Sirzechs' voice echoed from a distance. "Welcome to the colorful world of Sirzechs Lucifer." Issei couldn't help but burst into laughter. He knew that Sirzechs was behind this playful gesture, and he couldn't help but appreciate the Devil King's unique sense of humor. But the bond between Issei and Sirzechs wasn't limited to training and pranks. They would often sit down in the evenings, discussing life, dreams, and the intricacies of the devil world. These moments of candid conversation allowed Issei to learn not just about being a devil, but also about the experiences and wisdom that had shaped Sirzechs into the man he was. One night, as they sat on the rooftop of the Grimoire mansion, Issei couldn't help but ask, "Sirzechs, what's the most important lesson you've learned as a devil?" Sirzechs gazed at the starry sky, his expression thoughtful. "Issei, the most important lesson I've learned is that life is meant to be lived to the fullest. Embrace your dreams, your passions, and never lose sight of the things that bring you joy. Even as devils, we should find humor and happiness in our existence. It's too short to be spent in misery and regret." Issei absorbed Sirzechs' words, feeling a deeper connection with his mentor. "That's really inspiring, Sirzechs." Sirzechs turned to him, a warm smile on his face. "I'm glad you think so, Issei. Remember, humor and laughter are powerful tools. They can break down barriers, ease tension, and connect people on a profound level. I see that potential in you, and I hope you'll use it not just for your own dreams, but to make the world a brighter place." Their time together wasn't all about training and philosophical discussions, of course. They'd often indulge in casual activities that revolved around humor and fun. From impromptu karaoke sessions to challenging each other to tell the most outlandish jokes, Issei and Sirzechs had created a bond that went beyond mentorship. They were friends who shared a mutual love for humor and a zest for life. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Issei realized that the humor in his life had become an integral part of his growth as a devil. Sirzechs had shown him that power and responsibility could coexist with joy and laughter, and that a humorous outlook could be a source of strength. The humorous bond between Issei and Sirzechs had transformed Issei into a more well-rounded and confident devil. His comrades in the Grimoire household noticed the change, and they were grateful for the positive influence that Sirzechs had brought into their lives. As their journey continued, Issei and Sirzechs were prepared to face new challenges, and they would do so with a camaraderie built on laughter and mutual respect. The future held exciting adventures, and they were ready to tackle them head-on, with humor as their secret weapon. Word of Issei's remarkable progress under the tutelage of Sirzechs Lucifer spread through the underworld like wildfire. Many devils were curious about the young devil who was not only improving his combat skills, but also bringing humor and levity to the normally serious devil society. However, not everyone was pleased with his rapid ascent. Bakabiel, a powerful and arrogant fallen angel, had been monitoring the developments closely. He was known for his disdain for devils and believed that fallen angels were superior in every way. The news of a devil, especially one who had a mentor like Sirzechs Lucifer, becoming a formidable opponent was a direct affront to Bakabiel's beliefs. One day, as Issei and Sirzechs were sparring in a secluded training ground, a chilling breeze filled the air. Bakabiel, with his enormous white wings and a menacing aura, appeared before them. Well, Bakabiel sneered. "I see we have a young devil here who thinks he's a match for us fallen angels. I've heard the rumors, Issei Hyoudou, and I must say, I'm not impressed." Issei bristled with a mixture of anger and determination. He had worked hard under Sirzechs' guidance, and he wouldn't let someone like Bakabiel belittle his efforts. Sirzechs stepped forward, his usual playful demeanor replaced with a stern expression. "Bakabiel, what brings you here?" Bakabiel grinned, revealing his razor-sharp teeth. "I've come to challenge your young protege Sirzechs. I want to prove that fallen angels are superior to devils in every way. A duel, right here and right now." Issei and Sirzechs exchanged glances. The challenge was unexpected, but it presented an opportunity to test Issei's progress and stand up to the arrogant fallen angel. "Issei," Sirzechs said, his voice firm, "are you willing to accept Bakabiel's challenge?" Issei nodded, his eyes filled with determination. "I am Sirzechs. I won't let him disrespect us like this." The stage was set for a fierce battle between a young devil and a formidable fallen angel. The news of the duel spread quickly, drawing a crowd of curious onlookers from the underworld. Issei's comrades from the Grimoire household, including Riaz, Akeno, and Asia, watched with a mix of worry and support. The duel began with Bakabiel launching an attack of blinding light and powerful energy. Issei, having trained rigorously with Sirzechs, deftly evaded the onslaught of energy projectiles. He retaliated with his boosted gear, unleashing a crimson dragon that spiraled toward Bakabiel. The battle raged on, with Issei demonstrating his improved combat skills and his ability to strategize under pressure. He was no longer the inexperienced devil who had once faced Bakabiel's kind. However, Bakabiel was no pushover. He countered Issei's attacks with his own array of powerful spells and abilities. The two opponents clashed in a breathtaking display of power and determination. But what set Issei apart was not just his newfound strength, but also his sense of humor. In the midst of the battle, he unleashed a barrage of jokes and puns that caught Bakabiel off guard. "Why did the fallen angel bring a ladder to the duel?" Issei quipped, dodging a beam of energy. "Because he wanted to go to heaven." Bakabiel's irritation grew with every punchline, and he struggled to maintain his composure. Issei's humor, combined with his skills, gave him the upper hand in the battle. As the duel reached its climax, Issei gathered all his strength and summoned the full power of his boosted gear. A colossal red dragon erupted from his gauntlet, soaring toward Kakabiel. Kakabiel, on the verge of defeat, let out an exasperated sigh. "You devils and your sense of humor. I can't take it anymore." The crimson dragon engulfed Kakabiel, and with a deafening explosion, the fallen angel was defeated, his arrogance shattered. The onlookers watched in awe as Issei stood victorious, his power and humor triumphing over Kakabiel's arrogance. Sirzechs stepped forward, a proud smile on his face. "Well done, Issei. You've not only proven your strength, but also shown that humor can be a powerful weapon." Kakabiel learned that the hard way. Issei caught his breath, a mix of exhaustion and exhilaration washing over him. He had faced a formidable opponent and emerged victorious, but he had also defended the honor of devils against the contempt of the fallen angels. The duel with Kakabiel became a significant turning point in Issei's journey. It solidified his reputation in the devil world and showed that he was not just a young devil with a dream, but a force to be reckoned with. The balance of power and respect had shifted, and Issei had earned his place among the ranks of powerful devils. As the crowd cheered and celebrated his victory, Issei knew that his adventures were far from over. He had faced a formidable foe and triumphed, but there were still greater challenges and humor-filled escapades awaiting him. With Sirzechs by his side, he was ready to tackle whatever came his way, knowing that his mentor had prepared him not just for battles, but also for a life filled with laughter and camaraderie. The aftermath of Issei's duel with Kakabiel left the underworld buzzing with chatter. The news of a young devil besting a powerful fallen angel had far-reaching implications, not only in terms of the balance of power, but also as a testament to the strength of the Gremory household. In the days following the duel, Issei couldn't escape a sudden influx of attention and admiration from fellow devils. His comrades in the Gremory household, including Riaz, Akeno, Asia, Zenobia and Kaneko, were especially proud of his accomplishments. But amid the praise, Issei remained humble, fully aware that he owed much of his newfound strength and success to Sirzechs' guidance. It was a sunny afternoon at Kuo Academy, and Issei found himself in the clubroom with his friends, discussing the recent events and their implications. The door to the room suddenly swung open, and Sirzechs Lucifer, dressed in his characteristic crimson robes, entered with a playful grin on his face. "Issei, my boy, you've become quite the sensation," Sirzechs said as he leaned against a desk. Issei shrugged, a hint of embarrassment in his voice. "I couldn't have done it without your guidance, Sirzechs. Kakabiel was a tough opponent." Sirzechs chuckled. True. But you showed remarkable growth, and your sense of humor certainly added an unexpected twist to the battle." The Devil King's comment drew a round of laughter from the club members, who knew firsthand the value of humor in Issei's arsenal. Akeno, with her usual mischievous smile, leaned forward. "So, Sirzechs, what's next for Issei in terms of training and challenges?" Sirzechs pushed himself off the desk and began to pace around the room, a theatrical flourish to his movements. That's a question that goes beyond just training, my friends. You see, the underworld is a vast and complex place, with many layers and mysteries. Riaz, ever the level-headed leader, inquired, "Are you suggesting that Issei has more challenges ahead?" Sirzechs nodded, his eyes filled with a sense of intrigue. "Indeed, my dear Riaz. There are formidable opponents, ancient relics, and hidden secrets in the devil world. Issei's journey has only just begun." Issei leaned forward, his curiosity piqued. "I'm ready for whatever comes my way, Sirzechs. I want to become the best devil I can be." Sirzechs nodded with a satisfied smile. "That's the spirit, Issei. Now, let's talk about your next challenge." As the club members gathered around, Sirzechs detailed a new mission that would test Issei's abilities to the fullest. An ancient artifact, known as the Chronos Relic, had resurfaced, and it was rumored to hold the power to control time itself. The artifact was of great interest to devils, angels, and various supernatural factions. The artifact is said to be hidden within a labyrinthine structure beneath the depths of the underworld, Sirzechs explained. And it's heavily guarded by powerful creatures and magical traps. Retrieving it won't be an easy task. Issei's eyes gleamed with excitement. "So, we're going on a treasure hunt, and I get to test my skills while chasing an ancient relic that controls time. Count me in." The club members exchanged glances, their enthusiasm evident. Akeno grinned, "Sounds like another adventure filled with danger and humor. I'm in too." Riaz nodded in agreement. "If the Chronos Relic has the potential to disrupt the balance of power, we must secure it. Let's do this, team." With their decision made, Issei, Sirzechs, and the Gremory household members embarked on a new journey to retrieve the Chronos Relic. Their quest took them deep into the underworld, through treacherous passages and into forgotten realms. Along the way, they encountered strange creatures, overcame deadly traps, and shared moments of humor and camaraderie. Issei's newfound abilities, honed through his training under Sirzechs, were put to the test. He used his strength, agility, and humor to navigate the challenges, all while protecting his comrades. Each obstacle they faced was an opportunity for Issei to showcase his growth as a devil and his determination to succeed. The climax of their journey led them to the heart of the labyrinth, where the Chronos relic lay hidden. It was guarded by a powerful guardian, a mythical creature with the ability to manipulate time. The battle that ensued was a test of Issei's newfound abilities, his wits, and his unwavering resolve. With a mixture of combat skills and his signature humor, Issei outwitted the guardian and secured the Chronos relic. It was a triumphant moment for the team as they realized the artifact's true potential and the responsibility that came with it. As they made their way back to the surface, the club members couldn't help but reflect on the journey. Issei's growth as a devil and the bonds he had formed with his comrades were a testament to the power of humor and determination. They knew that more challenges awaited them, but with Issei as their Red Dragon Emperor and Sirzechs as their mentor, they were prepared for whatever the underworld had in store. Their adventures continued, filled with laughter, camaraderie, and the knowledge that, with humor as their ally, they could face any challenge that came their way. Issei's dream of becoming a harem king was still alive, but it was accompanied by a sense of purpose and responsibility that he had never imagined when he first became a devil. The journey was far from over, and the adventures that lay ahead promised to be filled with even more humor, growth, and unforgettable moments. Issei's journey as a devil had taken him down an unexpected path. With Sirzechs Lucifer as his mentor and a newfound sense of purpose, he continued to grow stronger. But it wasn't just his powers that were evolving, his relationships with the ladies in his life were also changing. The Grimoire household was a haven for supernatural beings, and it was no surprise that Issei's harem was expanding. Riaz, his master and love interest, was still at the center of his affections. Akeno, with her seductive charm, Asia, the kind-hearted healer, and Zenobia, the fierce warrior, had all found a special place in his heart. As Issei's charisma and strength grew, the ladies found themselves drawn to him in ways they couldn't ignore. They admired his dedication and determination, and his sense of humor had a magnetic pull that was impossible to resist. It wasn't long before the comical moments of navigating their affections became a regular occurrence in the Grimoire household. One sunny afternoon, Issei found himself in the clubroom, surrounded by Riaz, Akeno, Asia, and Zenobia. Each of them wore expressions that hinted at their affection for him, causing a comical tension to fill the room. Riaz, her crimson hair cascading like a waterfall, leaned in with a teasing grin. "Issei, you've been spending quite a lot of time with Akeno lately. What's the meaning of this?" Issei scratched his head, his cheeks turning a faint shade of red. "Well, you know, we've been training together, and it's not like that, Riaz." Akeno, who was enjoying the playful banter, chimed in. "Oh, Issei, don't be shy. It's good to have friends, right?" Asia, with her gentle smile, tried to mediate. "I think it's nice that everyone gets along so well. We're like a big family." Zenobia, the bluntest of the group, added, "Yeah, friends are important. But, Issei, remember that I'm your swordswoman." The room burst into laughter at the absurdity of it all. Issei's harem was not just a group of individuals with romantic interests, they were a family, bound by trust, respect, and affection. The comical moments of jealousy and rivalry were all part of their unique dynamics. As their days went by, Issei found himself juggling the affections and playful teasing of his harem members. Each day brought a new comical scenario, and Issei's humorous responses made their relationships even stronger. One day, Riaz approached Issei with a sly grin. "Issei, I've been thinking. We should go on a romantic date, just the two of us." Issei was both excited and nervous about the prospect of a one-on-one date with Riaz. "Sure, Riaz, that sounds great. Where should we go?" Akeno, with a playful glint in her eyes, overheard the conversation. "Oh, a romantic date, you say? How lovely. Is there room for a third wheel?" Asia joined in, her innocent expression masking her intentions. "I think it would be fun to go on a date too, Issei." Zenobia, never one to be left out, added, "Count me in. A group date sounds like a blast." Issei's face turned an amusing shade of pink as he realized the comical predicament he had unintentionally created. I didn't mean it like that. I mean, we can all go on a group date if you want." The ladies erupted in laughter, their playful teasing becoming a regular part of their interactions. Issei's harem had a unique bond that allowed them to share their affections while enjoying a good laugh. But it wasn't just playful banter that filled their days. Issei's growth as a devil and his adventures in the supernatural world often brought them face to face with danger. It was during these moments that their bonds were tested and strengthened. In the midst of a fierce battle with a group of rogue fallen angels, Riaz, Akeno, Asia, and Zenobia fought by Issei's side. The danger was real, and the comical moments took a backseat to the adrenaline-fueled fight for survival. As the battle raged on, Issei's harem demonstrated their unwavering loyalty and courage. Their combined strength and abilities were a formidable force, and they stood united, not just as a comical harem, but as a formidable team. Their victory in the battle was a testament to their growth as a group, and it brought them even closer. As they celebrated their triumph, their laughter echoed through the night, a reminder of the comical moments and strong bonds that defined their unique harem. As their journey continued, filled with adventures, challenges, and moments of humor, Issei's harem grew stronger. They navigated the complexities of their relationships with comical charm and unwavering support, knowing that together, they could face anything that came their way. Issei's dream of becoming a harem king was becoming a reality, but it was also a reminder that true strength lay not just in power, but in the bonds of friendship and love. Their comical moments were a reflection of their shared journey, and they wouldn't have it any other way. Issei's reputation as the Red Dragon Emperor continued to spread like wildfire throughout the underworld. His remarkable growth, combined with his unique sense of humor, made him a figure of intrigue and admiration among devils and supernatural beings. However, the news of his exploits also reached the ears of those who saw him as a formidable rival. Issei Lucifer, a devil of great power and the possessor of the divine dividing sacred gear, was one such individual. With silver hair, crimson eyes, and an air of arrogance, Issei was known for his formidable combat abilities and his fascination with powerful sacred gears. When he heard of the Red Dragon Emperor, Issei, his curiosity was piqued. One day, as Issei and his harem were enjoying a rare moment of peace in the Gremory Mansion's garden, an unexpected arrival disrupted their tranquility. Issei Lucifer appeared, his smirk revealing his amused demeanor. Well, what do we have here? Issei mused, his eyes locked onto Issei. The infamous Red Dragon Emperor in the flesh. Issei, startled by the sudden appearance of the enigmatic devil, stood up and raised an eyebrow. Who are you, and what do you want? Issei's grin widened. I'm Issei Lucifer, possessor of the divine dividing sacred gear. I've heard quite a bit about you, Issei Hyoudou, and I couldn't resist the opportunity to meet the legendary boosted gear user. The tension in the garden was palpable, but Issei, ever the charismatic and humorous devil, couldn't help but add a comical twist to the situation. Well, Issei, it's a pleasure to meet you. Though I have to say, the silver hair and crimson eyes are a bit too cliché, don't you think? Issei's laughter filled the garden. You're as cheeky as they say, Issei. I like that. But let's not forget that I'm here for a reason. As the two powerful devils engaged in conversation, their harem members watched with a mix of curiosity and concern. Riaz, who was by Issei's side, exchanged a knowing look with Akeno and the others. It was clear that Issei was not just an ordinary visitor, he was a formidable rival. Issei's presence in the Gremory Mansion brought an air of rivalry and humor to the household. Issei and Issei engaged in friendly sparring sessions, testing their respective sacred gears. Their battles were a spectacle of power and humor, as their witty banter and comical remarks filled the training grounds. One sunny afternoon, as Issei and Issei prepared for a training session, they couldn't resist a bit of playful teasing. Issei smirked. Issei, let's see if your boosted gear can keep up with the divine dividing. Issei chuckled, his confidence undeterred. Well, Issei, you'll soon find out that the boosted gear is no joke. But I have to say, your hair looks a bit too shiny to be natural. Their sparring session was a showcase of their abilities, and their humorous exchanges made it a memorable experience. Issei's boosted gear clashed with Issei's divine dividing, sending shockwaves through the training grounds. The comical rivalry between the two sacred gear users was evident, even in the heat of battle. But it wasn't just in combat that their rivalry played out. Issei and Issei would often engage in humorous contests to prove their superiority in various ways, from arm wrestling to eating competitions. Each challenge was filled with camaraderie and laughter, despite the underlying rivalry. As their encounters continued, it became clear that Issei and Issei shared a unique bond. They were rivals, yes, but they were also fellow sacred gear users who understood the weight of their responsibilities. They respected each other's strengths and appreciated the humor that brought them closer. One evening, as Issei and Issei sat on the rooftop of the Gremory Mansion, they looked out at the starry sky, their rivalry momentarily put aside. You know, Issei, Issei began, his tone surprisingly serious, our world is a complex one, filled with power struggles and ancient grudges. But it's also a world where humor and camaraderie can make a difference. Issei nodded in agreement. You're right, Issei. Our strength comes not just from our sacred gears, but from the bonds we form and the laughter we share. Their camaraderie and mutual respect were evident to all those around them, and the comical moments they had shared brought a unique dimension to their rivalry. Issei and Issei continued to challenge each other, both in strength and humor, knowing that their encounters were not just about competition, but about growth and friendship. As their journey unfolded, the rivalry between the Red Dragon Emperor and the possessor of the divine dividing sacred gear remained a central theme in their lives. Their comical battles, playful banter and moments of camaraderie were a testament to the unique bonds that could be formed in the world of devils. Issei had found a rival in Volley, but he had also found a friend who shared his passion for strength and humor. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Their rivalry would continue to shape their growth and adventures, with laughter and camaraderie at its heart. The underworld was never short of powerful adversaries, and Issei had learned the importance of constant improvement. With Volley Lucifer as a rival, Issei knew he needed to reach new heights in both strength and humor. He turned to his mentor, Sirzechs Lucifer, for a training regimen that would help him achieve his goals. And so, the training montage began. Issei, dressed in his training attire, stood in a vast open field within the Gremory mansion's grounds. Sirzechs, equally ready for action in his crimson robes, cracked a light-hearted smile. "Are you ready, Issei?" Sirzechs asked, his voice full of enthusiasm. Issei nodded with determination. "I'm ready, Sirzechs. Let's do this." The training montage was a whirlwind of comical moments, lessons, and growth. Issei and Sirzechs embarked on a series of exercises and sparring sessions that would push Issei's limits as a devil and hone his skills with the boosted gear. In one of the montages, Issei attempted to master a new combat technique under Sirzechs' guidance. He repeatedly tried to execute the move, resulting in humorous mishaps and crashes. Sirzechs couldn't help but chuckle at Issei's determination and comical resilience. As Issei lay in a pile of dirt, he grumbled, "This is harder than it looks, Sirzechs." Sirzechs extended a hand to help Issei up. "It's all part of the process, Issei. You'll get the hang of it with time." The training montage wasn't just about physical prowess, it also delved into the intricacies of being a devil. Sirzechs shared valuable life lessons, love advice, and insights into the responsibilities that came with their supernatural existence. One sunny afternoon, Issei sat with Sirzechs on a hill overlooking the Gremory mansion. The sun bathed them in warmth as they engaged in a comical yet meaningful conversation. "Sirzechs, what's the most important lesson you've learned in life?" Issei asked, his curiosity piqued. Sirzechs gazed at the horizon, a thoughtful expression on his face. "The most important lesson I've learned is to cherish the bonds you have with others. Our powers as devils are considerable, but they mean nothing without the connections we build and the love we share." Issei nodded, his expression serious. "I understand. It's not just about being strong, it's about protecting the people we care about." Sirzechs smiled, his comical nature shining through. "Exactly, Issei. And it doesn't hurt to sprinkle a bit of humor and laughter into the mix. It can lighten the heaviest of burdens." Their training montages continued, each day bringing new challenges and insights. Issei's strength and abilities grew, but his sense of humor also blossomed. Sirzechs' playful guidance taught Issei that humor was not just a weapon in battle, but a source of strength in life. One of the training sessions involved Issei learning to balance multiple tasks while engaging in combat. The comical result was a scene of Issei attempting to fend off attackers, all while juggling oranges, reciting jokes, and dodging comically large boxing gloves that Sirzechs conjured to test his reflexes. The mishaps and laughter that filled the training montage were not just for show, they were a reminder that humor was a valuable asset in a devil's arsenal. Issei had learned that it could break down barriers, ease tension, and connect people on a profound level. As the training montage came to a close, Issei felt a renewed sense of purpose and growth. He had not only honed his combat skills and physical prowess, but it also deepened his understanding of the world of devils and the importance of humor in their lives. With Sirzechs by his side, Issei was prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. His rivalry with Volley, his harem's affections, and the responsibilities of being a devil were all part of his journey. And he knew that, with humor as his ally, he could face anything that came his way. As the sun set on the training montage, Issei and Sirzechs stood side by side, ready for the adventures and battles that awaited them. Their comical journey was far from over, but they were prepared to tackle it with humor, camaraderie, and unwavering determination. The underworld was not just a realm of battles and power struggles, it was also a place where social gatherings and parties were a common occurrence. Issei, with Sirzechs Lucifer as his mentor, was no stranger to these events. But the next gathering they attended would prove to be a comical and memorable experience. The invitation to the Devil's Ball, a lavish and extravagant event hosted by one of the noble devil families, had arrived at the Gremory mansion. The ball was known for its opulence, with elegant decor, luxurious attire, and an atmosphere of sophistication. It was an opportunity for devils to come together, celebrate, and forge new connections. Issei and Sirzechs dressed in their finest attire, with Issei donning a tailored tuxedo and Sirzechs in his characteristic crimson robes. They arrived at the ball, greeted by the grandeur of the venue, where chandeliers glistened and elegantly dressed guests mingled. The comical element of the evening began as soon as they entered the ballroom. Issei, despite his best efforts, found himself navigating a sea of social norms and etiquette, often with hilarious results. He stumbled over his own feet, mixed up greetings, and even tried to initiate conversations with guests about his favorite anime series. Sirzechs, with his customary charm and composure, tried to guide Issei through the social intricacies. However, he couldn't help but be entertained by Issei's unintentional comical antics. As Issei and Sirzechs moved through the crowd, they encountered a variety of comical interactions. A devil with a penchant for humorous jokes engaged Issei in a battle of wits, leaving the two of them and the surrounding guests in stitches of laughter. Issei's humor, it seemed, was infectious. The dance floor was the heart of the event, and the comical moments continued as Issei attempted to master the art of dancing. With Sirzechs as his instructor, the two engaged in a comical dance routine, often tripping over their own feet and causing other guests to join in the laughter. But amid the humor, romance began to bloom. Issei's harem members, Rias, Akeno, Asia, Zenobia, and others, attended the ball as well. Their interactions with Issei were both comical and heartwarming. Issei found himself in a comical situation as each of his harem members requested a dance, leaving him to comically juggle his affections while trying to avoid any comical mishaps on the dance floor. The comical climax of the evening came when Issei, while dancing with Rias, suddenly lost his balance and comically twirled into another couple. The resulting comical collision sent a comical ripple of laughter through the room. Rias laughed comically, her eyes filled with amusement. "Issei, you certainly know how to make an entrance." Issei comically rubbed the back of his head. "Well, you know me, Rias. I like to keep things interesting." As the night went on, the comical and heartwarming moments continued. Issei and Sirzechs engaged in comical discussions with other devil nobles, showcasing both their wit and their humility. They learned valuable comical lessons about the intricacies of devil society and the importance of laughter in their lives. The ball was a comical and memorable event that left a lasting impression on Issei and his mentor. It showcased not only the comical side of devil society, but also the power of humor to connect people and forge lasting comical relationships. As Issei and Sirzechs departed from the devil's ball, they knew that their journey was far from over. Their comical adventures and comical challenges awaited, and they were ready to face them with the power of humor and camaraderie by their side. The comical dance of demons was a reminder that even in the world of devils, humor had a place, and laughter could break down barriers and bring comical joy to their lives. Issei's dream of becoming a harem king was still alive, but it was complemented by the realization that love, friendship, and laughter were just as important as power and ambition in the world of the supernatural. Zenobia Quarta, a formidable warrior and one of Issei's closest comrades, was known for her dedication to her swordsmanship. As part of the Gremory household, she had trained diligently to become a powerful devil, and her quest for strength knew no bounds. One day, she approached Issei with a challenging proposition. A sparring match. Issei, always up for a challenge and eager to test his growing powers, agreed to Zenobia's request. They found a suitable training ground within the Gremory mansion's expansive grounds, and the comical sparring match was set to begin. Zenobia stood ready, her sword drawn, her eyes locked onto Issei. "Are you prepared, Issei? This won't be a comical match." Issei, with his usual sense of humor, grinned confidently. "Zenobia, I'm always ready for a comical match, even when it's serious business. Let's do this." The comical battle commenced, with Zenobia showcasing her impressive swordsmanship and Issei, his honed abilities as the Red Dragon Emperor. But what made the sparring match truly comical was Issei's humorous approach to training. As the battle unfolded, Issei couldn't help but interject comical remarks and jokes, much to Zenobia's confusion and amusement. He would dodge her attacks with acrobatic flips and punctuate his moves with comical poses and expressions. Zenobia was taken aback by Issei's unconventional training style. "Issei, this is a sparring match," Zenobia comically exclaimed. "Why are you treating it like a comical circus?" Issei, his laughter echoing through the training grounds, replied, "Because, Zenobia, humor makes everything better. It lightens the mood and keeps us from taking ourselves too seriously." The sparring match continued, and Issei's humorous tactics didn't stop. He performed comical cartwheels, engaged in a comical dance-off with Zenobia, and even threw in a comical magic trick for good measure. His comical antics were not just for show, they served a purpose. Zenobia soon realized that Issei's approach to training was rooted in the belief that humor and laughter could be powerful tools in their arsenal. Issei wasn't just a comical warrior, he was a devil who understood the comical moments could break tension, strengthen camaraderie, and even provide an advantage in battle. As the sparring match came to a close, Issei and Zenobia sat on the grass, catching their breath. Zenobia couldn't help but smile. "You're a strange one, Issei," Zenobia said comically. "But I can't deny that your comical approach to training added an unexpected comical twist to our battle." Issei, still grinning, nodded. I believe that humor is a powerful comical weapon, Zenobia. It helps us stay comically grounded and connected to our comrades. Their sparring match had not only been a comical exchange of blows, but a lesson in the comical power of humor. Issei had shown Zenobia that even in the midst of intense battles and training, comical moments could make a difference. As the days went by, Issei continued to train with Zenobia, integrating humor into their comical routines. Zenobia, initially puzzled by Issei's approach, began to embrace the comical aspect of their training. She found herself laughing comically more, even in the most challenging of moments. Their camaraderie deepened, and the comical moments they shared became a reflection of their growing bond. Zenobia came to appreciate Issei's comical perspective and the comical balance he brought to their lives. One evening, as the sun set, Issei and Zenobia sat on the training grounds, their laughter filling the air. Zenobia couldn't help but comically remark, "I never thought I'd say this, but training with you, Issei, has been a comical adventure." Issei chuckled, his comical spirit shining through. "Zenobia, sometimes, a little humor is all we need to face the toughest challenges. And our journey is just beginning." With their training complete and their camaraderie strengthened, Issei and Zenobia were ready to face the comical and formidable foes that awaited them. The world of devils was filled with battles and challenges, but with humor as their ally, they knew they could overcome anything that came their way. Their journey was far from over, but the lessons they had learned about the power of comical moments and camaraderie would continue to shape their adventures in the supernatural world. Issei's dream of becoming a harem king was fueled not just by strength, but by the bonds and laughter that enriched their lives. Issei's life as a devil had taken him down a path he could have never predicted. He had grown stronger, made new friends, and faced numerous supernatural challenges. But one day, a blast from his past arrived unexpectedly, bringing a mix of humor and nostalgia. Issei had received a call from an old friend, Mitsuda, with whom he had shared many comical and mischievous adventures during his human days. Mitsuda had lost contact with Issei since his transformation into a devil, and his call left Issei both surprised and curious. Mitsuda, a typical high school boy with a penchant for getting into comical trouble, explained that he had encountered a supernatural problem he couldn't handle on his own. Without revealing the specifics, he asked for Issei's help, and Issei couldn't turn down a friend in need. Issei arranged to meet Mitsuda at a quiet cafe, a comical choice of location, given their history of causing trouble together. As he walked into the cafe, he couldn't help but smile at the sight of his old comrade. Mitsuda had changed very little since their high school days, retaining his comical sense of humor and mischievous grin. "Issei, it's been ages." Mitsuda exclaimed, comically patting Issei on the back. Issei chuckled, shaking his head. "You haven't changed a bit, Mitsuda. So, what's this comical supernatural problem you're facing?" Mitsuda leaned in, his comical expression turning serious. Well, let's just say it involves some mischievous spirits. They've been causing comical havoc, and I have no idea how to deal with them." Issei couldn't help but find the comical aspect of the situation. Mitsuda, always the one to stir up trouble, was now dealing with supernatural mischievous spirits. He agreed to help, and the two comically reminisced about their high school days as they discussed the plan of action. Their investigation led them to a comical old abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town, where the supernatural disturbances had been reported. The mansion had a spooky atmosphere, with eerie shadows and comical creaking floorboards. Issei couldn't resist making a few humorous comments to lighten the mood. As they ventured further into the mansion, they encountered the mischievous spirits, who took on various comical forms, from floating objects to ghostly apparitions. Issei, with his devil powers, attempted to communicate with the spirits, using a comical approach that involved telling jokes and performing magic tricks. Mitsuda, wide-eyed and comically bewildered, watched as Issei's comical tactics somehow calmed the mischievous spirits. The spirits responded to his humor and began to share their comical stories, revealing that they were trapped souls seeking closure. Issei and Mitsuda worked together to help the spirits resolve their lingering issues, often using humor to lighten the comical mood. The comical journey led them to comical revelations and even a few tearful moments as they comically connected with the spirits. As they finally left the mansion, Mitsuda looked at Issei with gratitude and comical amazement. "Issei, I never thought I'd see the day when you, of all people, would be the one to calm mischievous spirits with your comical humor." Issei laughed, his comical spirit shining through. "Well, Mitsuda, sometimes humor is the best way to connect with others, even supernatural ones." Their comical adventure with the mischievous spirits had brought them closer as friends, and Issei couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia for their high school days. As they returned to the cafe where they had met, they shared comical stories and reminisced about their comical antics. Mitsuda grinned comically. "Issei, you've become a devil, but you're still the same comical friend I knew in high school." Issei smiled, his comical spirit undiminished. "Some things never change, Mitsuda. We'll always find humor in the most unexpected places." Their reunion with a comical encounter had brought a mix of nostalgia and laughter to their lives. Issei's journey as a devil was far from over, but he knew that the bonds of friendship and the power of humor would continue to shape his adventures in the supernatural world. Life in the Gremory household was often filled with adventure, battles, and comical moments. But one day, a mischievous idea sparked in the minds of both Sirzechs and Issei. They decided to play a comical prank on the members of the household with the intention of bringing humor and laughter into their lives. As Issei and Sirzechs huddled together in secret to plan their prank, they couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of the comical situation. The Gremory household was home to a variety of supernatural beings, each with their own quirks and powers, and playing a prank on them was no small feat. Their plan was to create a comical illusion, making it appear as though the mansion was haunted by mischievous spirits. They enlisted the help of Graphia, a demon maid with comical talents and illusions, to execute their comical prank. Issei and Sirzechs comically placed hidden speakers throughout the mansion to create eerie sounds, and they even dressed up as comical ghosts to complete the illusion. The night of the prank arrived, and the comical duo waited with bated breath as the household members began to notice the comical disturbances. Riaz, Akeno, Asia, Zenobia, and the others exchanged comical glances as strange sounds echoed through the mansion. Riaz, comically raising an eyebrow, remarked, "I don't remember the mansion being this comically spooky." Akeno, her comical expression equally curious, added, "Perhaps it's a comical manifestation of supernatural energy." The household members comically decided to investigate the comical occurrences, and as they ventured through the mansion, the comical illusions played tricks on their senses. Issei and Sirzechs, hidden in their ghostly disguises, couldn't help but stifle their comical laughter. Asia, holding her comically brave expression, called out, "Is anyone there?" Issei and Sirzechs responded by comically floating through the wall, their ghostly forms illuminated by an eerie glow. The comical sight left the household members in a comical mixture of shock and amusement. Zenobia, with her sword at the ready, comically exclaimed, "A ghost. This is a comical twist." Issei and Sirzechs couldn't hold back their comical laughter any longer, and they revealed their true identities with comical grins. "Surprise. It was just a comical prank," Issei exclaimed. The comical tension in the room gave way to laughter and relief as the household members realized they had been the victims of a comical prank. Riaz, amused and slightly exasperated, comically shook her head. "Issei, Sirzechs, you two are incorrigible," she comically remarked. Sirzechs, his comical demeanor unchanged, replied, "But it brought some humor and laughter into our lives, didn't it?" The comical prank had achieved its goal, and the household members joined in the comical spirit of the moment. They shared stories of their own pranks and comical adventures, and the night was filled with laughter and camaraderie. As the evening came to a close, Issei and Sirzechs couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction. The comical prank had not only brought humor and laughter into their lives, but it had also strengthened the bonds of friendship and love within the Gremory household. Riaz, her comical smile reflecting her affection for Issei, remarked, "You may be a comical devil, Issei, but your sense of humor is a gift to us all." Issei grinned, his comical spirit shining through. "And you, Riaz, bring laughter and warmth into my life every day." Their comical adventures continued, but the memory of the mischievous prank served as a reminder that humor and laughter could bring light into even the darkest of moments. Issei's dream of becoming a harem king was fueled not just by his strength and charisma, but by the comical bonds of friendship and love that enriched their lives. As the members of the Gremory household retired for the night, they knew that comical adventures and moments of laughter were always just around the corner, waiting to brighten their lives in the most unexpected ways. End of the here. So that's it for today's video guys. Before you go, just like the video and share it with your friends. Bye.